back on the record at 142.
So I believe you said that you're awaiting a better understanding of how much money you believe Roger Richards or any of my clients took after a forensic accounting, but before you can do a forensic accounting, you need the results from a subpoena that you sent to a bank. Is that correct?
Correct, because y'all wouldn't provide the documents.
And when you're talking about a subpoena, is that a subpoena for which entity?
For Leon Kennedy's version of SBA.
And what is that name?
It's SBA Media or Entertainment. I can't remember which one.
So you're
it's on the subpoena.
Sure, and both names are on the subpoena. I'll tell you that. So I'm just wondering, which one do you allege is Leon Kennedy's version of the SBA?
I've got them crossed in my head right now. I couldn't tell you without looking at it in documentation. Okay.
So you don't know whether it was SBA Entertainment LLC or SBA Media?
Correct.
Okay. But you're saying the result from that, you're going to get information from the bank, and you anticipate that your forensic accountants are going to be able to decipher how much money was received at that bank account, and you would have been entitled to 25% of that, correct?
Not just myself, but everyone involved, to do a full forensic accounting to make sure everything was handled properly, and to find out where some of the funds possibly went.
Okay, and it wouldn't necessarily be 25% of the monies that came through that bank account if your agreement is for 25% of the net profits, because there'd be some expenses.
I'm not going to argue over a document we don't have in front of us.
Okay, I'm just trying to get
but either one of us could be right. We don't know because we don't have a document.
And I don't care about the documents right now. I'm just trying to get what's in your head. That's
Okay.
what I care about today. Okay, so I want to memorialize what you believe to be true. Okay. Was there ever a document where you told Leon Kennedy, hey, you made me sign something and it was against my will. I did not want to sign that and you made me do it?
No, it was kind of in a conversation, which things usually happened. It was after things started going south. The guys at EUX were saying that untrustworthy things were happening. Leon was having them lie to me and all this other stuff. Ask me the original question again. What was the original question again?
I had Corey Porter read back.
Was there ever a document where you told Leon Kennedy, hey, you made me sign something and it was against my will, I didn't want to sign that, and you made me do it?
No, we had oral discussions about it, but there was, until the end and all the legal stuff happened, I was all relying on Leon's beautiful 50 years in the entertainment industry, Leon's expertise in contracts, Leon's expertise in connections, all of these things that he dazzled me with and convinced me that I didn't know jack crap about.
But there's no text message where you said that to him, like, hey, you're making me sign things that I don't agree to. I'll sign it for you, but I don't agree.
I don't know. There could be, I don't know what was in text, what was all verbally, but there was, at the end, verbal discussion about certain documents the EUX and I signed being put in front of me that Leon and Roger had taken point on, and Leon had assured me that everything was safe and protected. I don't need an attorney. Sign it so we can get going on this. Okay. Waiting on you to sign this. We got to sign this. We've got so much going on. It's about to happen.
Well, if you didn't have enough information, why didn't you just say, no, I'm not signing?
Because, what did I just tell you? The man who's the expert, the man who convinced me to trust him, to run everything through him, not attorneys, told me that it was safe. He told me to do it.
Okay. And let me ask you this. The profit sharing, this 25%, you said it was the same ratio for the DVDs as it was for 1091, right?
It was supposed to be the same agreement on all income coming in for the DVDs and the live stream distributions. We agreed that what other agreement would not be lawful and ethical other than to give the original stakeholders the percentage that they're entitled to. Because they weren't just told that they were going to get the 20, whatever the percentage was from the DVD, they were all under the impression that the movie, all sales. So we're going to have to go over the documentation we had with them, obviously. We're going to have to bring in EUX, who is the guy who said EUX. And they were very concerned about the contract after they had it sent to one of their attorneys. And that's what caused them to call me quietly and to tell me to be careful of these two, that they were worried that they didn't want to get too specific, but they were worried about the rights of the picture. They had spent a ton of time writing the treatments. Roger didn't write it, Leon didn't write it, you know, they wrote it, and I sat there with them on the phone and helped them write it. So they sent in and registered with the Writers Guild those documents with all three of our names on them because they didn't trust Leon.
And these other names were who?
Somebody for Miss Levesque.
And the other name?
She's right.
Classy. So, right now, you've made claims to some people that sometimes you have memory issues, right?
Sometimes.
And you call it temporal dementia?
No.
What do you call it?
My father had temporal dementia. That's what he passed away from. What I had said is that a lot of people that had the experiences that I had developed temporal dementia. I did not ever say that I had it. And the memory issues I had were related to PTSD, and those memory issues decreased and went away as I came off of the medication and was no longer being treated for PTSD, which was through 2016 or 2015, the end of 2015.
What medications were you on back then?
I have to get that to you. I don't remember.
Like, didn't you used to take Anavar without a prescription?
I took from Gaia. I had a bunch of, the shoulder surgeries and everything that I described. He got it for me because of my extreme atrophy, and I took it for 3, maybe 4 months. The atrophy went away, and I no longer took it.
When you say he got it for you, that was without a prescription?
Without a prescription.
Okay. And the PTSD, that's from, some of that's from fighting in wars with aliens, is that right?
No, it's from a traumatic childhood.
Okay. You didn't claim that in your lectures, that it was, some of that was from fighting with aliens?
Never. With, the PTSD, I never publicly described why I had it, but to people that I worked with, I had told them what the PTSD was from.
Didn't you claim that you were speaking with Anshar at some point in time?
Yeah, that's when I meditate, those are my guides.
Okay, and that's a future species living inside the Earth?
Yes.
And you communicate with them on a regular basis?
Yeah, and it's also a part of my IP and creative arts that we're making movies and video games out of.
So you're saying that no one else can communicate with them but you?
Well, yeah. Well, they're my spirit guides. They came from me.
And so you're saying Anshar is is unique to you, no one else can communicate to them but through you?
Let's see, Anshar.
Just answer my question.
It's in my franchise Bible. It is my creation. I'm a content creator.
Understand?
Whether I have my life stories mixed with some drama, which I've always made public as well, and in this book.
Do you remember my question? Do you have my question in mind?
Yeah.
Okay, what is my question?
The Anshar are a creation.
Not my question. My question is, can anyone else communicate to Anshar
To something I created?
other than through you?
That's something I created. That's something I trademarked? That's part of my trademark? No.
Okay, so the only people who can communicate to Anshar are you, correct?
It's a part of my meditative process.
Okay.
If someone wants to create up a meditative process where they're talking to the Anshar, there's nothing that stops that, and they will believe it, and it will allow them in their higher self to connect. It's a tool.
So someone else could connect to Anshar as well and have an experience with Anshar as well.
If they imagined it so, but if they decided to go out and do a television show about it or write a book about it, they might have a problem.
But can't they have their own? They couldn't write about their own experience.
Their own experience with something. I mean, okay, it would be the same as a Star Wars character.
No, but if someone else has an experience or had a meditative state, can't they communicate and talk about their experience?
Well, they can communicate and talk about whatever they want. This is America.
Sure.
But if they went out and said that Han Solo was giving them information in their dreams or in their meditations, and they started writing books about it, guess who's going to come and sue them?
So you're saying that this Anshar, it's real, it exists as far as you're concerned, and that you communicate with Anshar, correct?
It is a meditative tool that I use, and a lot of my...
You're answering.
I am answering your question.
Is
if you
it
just
real
hold on.
or not?
It is not physically real. It was created by me as a part of my meditative practices.
Do you communicate with something named Anshar?
In my meditations, I use the Anshar as like an avatar to communicate and gather different information.
Avatar being real and independent from you, or part of you?
It would be it depends on how you view a person, their higher self.
Is Anshar independent from you, or is it part of you?
It's my creation. It's part of my higher self.
So no one else can communicate with it because it's your creation.
Right, unless they decide to create it in their head, but then they're not creating it.
Well, if they create it in their head, what are they doing?
They're borrowing my creation and delusionally having their own experience.
And they can't write about their own experience.
They can't write and profit off of, just like Han Solo, the whole Star Trek. This is an IP that is like Star Trek. And it is dramatizations built on top of my experiences. And that people do that all the time. And their content is not...
So you're saying that Star Trek is real?
No.
Okay, no. So Star Trek's not real, Anshar is not real either, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
It's all a part of this intellectual property, and
It's content that's created by you.
yes,
Okay.
and all of the delusional people in the community who take this information, it is what you call fan fiction.
Okay.
So people that are talking about the Anshar and all of these different secret space program things, it's fan fiction based on my real life experience that I dramatized to create
And
this.
so people are delusional if they believe it.
They're delusional if they believe they were in the secret space program and in contact with the Anshar, who are my creation.
Do you believe you were part of the secret space program?
I was part of a secret program. I was.
And whose secret was it?
What do you mean?
You said it's a secret space program. Whose secret?
It was a government secret, I guess.
Which government?
The United States government.
Okay. And so you say that you're part of the secret space program?
I was a part of I was brought into my lab programs when I was in elementary school, brought to Carswell Air Force Base, where we went through all sorts of experiments and training.
Which Air Force Base?
Carswell, it's now joint, and they changed it. It's in Fort Worth.
Okay. And so because of that, you're part of the secret space program?
No, I was brought into a secret space program based on that training, and after that, I did this.
And so the secret space program was introduced to you when you were in elementary school, right?
When I was 17.
I thought you said elementary school.
No, that was the training, the MyLab training, where they took us out of school and did training and experiments.
And when you say they took you out and did training experiments, who's the they?
The people that were working with the elementary school and junior high that I went to, and Carswell Air Force Base.
Do you know who they were working for?
The Navy.
Okay. And so the Navy was taking you out of elementary school and junior high and training you?
I'm sure they had Mrs. Hill, who was a contractor for them, was also teaching at our school, took us out of class, took us to the Carswell Air Force Base. For what all went on.
How often would they take you out to do this?
It was maybe one day a month, and then sometimes it would be like a little spurt of, more like 2 or 3 days in a week.
Okay. And how many years was it that frequent?
From when I was 6 or 7 up until 17. It's like 10 years.
As a result of that training, what did you do differently?
I'm going to need that rephrase.
Sure. As a result of the secret space training program that you had in elementary and junior high, what did you do as a result of that training?
I still don't get what you're saying.
Okay. Because of that, what did that cause you to do with the secret space training?
What did it cause me to do?
Yes. Like for instance, you've said you've done 20 and back journeys where you go away for over 20 years and you come back.
Yep, trademark.
And, okay. And you've done that, and you've done that many times, right?
Correct. That's the dramatization on top of the story. Like I said,
Are you saying it's dramatization or is it real?
part of it's real, part of it's dramatization.
What
Like
part?
I've said about all of this.
What part is dramatization?
Be more specific, please.
Sure. What part of the 20 and back is dramatization and not real?
Well, the 20 and back itself is my creation. That's why I trademarked it, and that's why it's a part of my intellectual property.
So does that mean it's not real? It's dramatization?
What does it matter if it's real or not?
I'm asking you whether it was dramatization or was it real?
It's a real part of my dream or delusion, of whatever you want to call it. I created all of this as on top of the training that I did have and the experiences that I did have. I extrapolated this stuff out and created it.
Okay, but it's part of your dream or delusion, you call it, correct?
With whatever y'all want to call it.
Well, what do you call it?
I call it my intellectual property.
Okay. And you state you've gone away for over 20 years and you come back and you haven't aged, correct?
Well, the 20 and back story in the book is that you're taking off planet, you serve 20 years, your age regressed, and you're put back in time to where you were first removed.
Is that the story or is that what happened to you?
It is the story,
So it's not what happened to you?
not necessarily.
Well,
It's a lot of these things are memories that I had that I wrote down, and some of these memories could be real or they could be creation. I'm not exactly sure, but I created on top of them, used my experiences to create on top of as a foundation.
Are you sure of any experience where you went away for 20 years and you came back and you hadn't aged to be real?
How would I be totally sure if that sort of thing were real?
Are you sure that you had lunch today?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you as sure as having lunch today as you were about any of these experiences like the 20 and back?
Like I said, the 20 and back is my creation. It's a part of my intellectual property. Me creating it means it came out of me and that it is my story and it was never anywhere before. Makes it my intellectual property.
That's not my question. My question is, today you went to lunch, right?
Well, listen,
Listen,
I have told you
Hey, I'm asking
that
a
I
question.
made up stuff on top of it, and in this book it says so. So, yes, I did make up stories about the secret space program extrapolated off of my experiences that I told you about earlier.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. So you stated in one place that you've done 3 of these 20s and backs. That's an extrapolation, that's not reality.
If y'all took about 10 minutes to read this, you will see it talks about Corey Goode, the real person, and Corey Goode, the persona that this stuff is based off of. All you have to do is read through this, and anyone in the jury will be able to read through it and make sense of that. But me delivering my intellectual property as if it's all absolutely true, yes, that is definitely a part of the PR and way to get this information out to the public. So
That it's not, because it's not true.
not all of it. Like I said, I have created everything that's in this book was created off of my experiences, what I perceived as my experiences, or just created it as a content creator on top of and used those as reference.
Okay. And you've referred to yourself as the modern incarnate of the Bible's Old Testament prophet Enoch.
No,
No?
no.
Okay. Did you ever refer to yourself as the modern incarnate of any kind of prophet?
No. What I said is that the name that was referred with me in my creation, Hanush, is a word that means Enoch, and that Enoch wasn't necessarily a person, that it was possibly a position.
And what position do you believe you have as a Hanush?
In this story? In this book?
No, in reality.
In reality, I don't believe I'm any type of super prophet. I believe I'm getting information from the higher realms, and I'm disseminating that information in the way that I think will get out to the masses the best way.
So you do believe the information you're getting is needed to get to the masses. Why?
Because of the positive effect it's had on the thousands and thousands of people that watch Cosmic Disclosure, came to the conferences, told me that my story and information changed their life, watching me go through this overweight guy on medications on the show, all shaking, and going through this complete metamorphosis, motivated them and inspired them to make the changes in their life. I can produce all sorts of people and information to where they claim that my information has changed their life in a good way.
Even though the information is false, it's having beneficial results with people that read it.
Well, people believe things that are false all the time.
But answer my question, even though the information is false, people are having beneficial reactions by reading it, correct?
Even though some of the information is a creation, people are getting benefit from it.
Okay.
That's the way I would phrase it.
Like, for example, some of the creation would be the fact that you say you've been visited by over a 6 foot tall, blue looking chicken type creature.
Yeah, Blue Avian, trademark.
Yes, that. So that's something that hasn't really happened, but that's a story you tell to assist people to something
It was a
good.
part of my meditative state, and it was real to me, a real avatar. I really interface with a blue avian. It's my way of connecting to my higher self and connecting to higher information, to be able to bring down information that doesn't come from the human experience. It comes down from higher. That's what people believe in this community. Is a part of many of our religious beliefs of higher density beings, just like some people preach about angels. Higher density beings, angels, interchangeable. So the wording has changed, but people have talked for years about sitting in meditative state, connecting with different archangels, and delivering information to humanity. What I am doing is no different. It is just the verbiage is different because the times have changed, and this is part of an esoteric religion and not Christian or Muslim or any of those. Different terminology.
Okay. And so in this meditative state is when you had this over 6 foot tall blue chicken type creature.
Well, chicken comes from the slander.
Okay.
It comes from the lawsuits that I'm against. I'm going against people. Blue chicken was their slander.
What would you call it?
It's a blue avian, a trademark.
How would you describe it? The appearance of it?
Like 8 foot tall, blue, humanoid. Looks more like a person. We actually have art, and well, here I can show you.
No, I'm just asking you to describe it. I don't want to show it because it doesn't work for the judge or jury. You state that these creatures came from outer space, and they gave you information and knowledge that you have.
They
correct?
came from a higher density.
Okay.
They basically a higher density, as in heaven. What Christians and other people would call heaven if they were to stand up and talk on a pulpit.
And you cited many times that these blue avians have advised you not to sign any contracts, right?
Yep, they've advised. I've used them as an avatar to look for things that aren't popping up in my mind, things that should pop, for red flags. It's a way of going past my conscious mind, entering my subconscious, and looking for problems or good things or bad things.
But wouldn't these contracts, these documents, like you said earlier, documents and contracts help you, right? So
It depends on the document or the contract. If it's not a fair contract, or if it's a contract that's going to hurt my IP in some way, then it's not a good contract.
Well, wouldn't it always be good to memorialize the relationship that you have to protect your IP? You said that's industry.
If it's protected, if the contract lists out what I stipulate. But if a contract isn't delivered to me protecting my IP, or if I don't have a expert telling me in my ear that it's okay to sign, I don't sign it.
Who are the probably mispronouncing it, the Cable and the Dark Forces?
The Cable?
Cabal?
Yeah, the Cabal.
Who is that?
In conspiracy theory land and in this community, it is the secret government that is controlling or hiding the existence of aliens and trying to take over the world.
Do you believe that my clients are trying to stop the existence of aliens?
I don't think your clients have the power to stop the existence of aliens.
So you don't believe my clients are the dark forces?
No.
Okay. Now, in all the lawsuits, you're the one suing everybody else, right? Gaia Television, your former TV producer, Jay Wiedner, my clients, Adrian Youngblood, Leon Kennedy, Roger Richards. All these suits are suits where you initiated the lawsuit, right?
Yes, after first trying to... no, I didn't initiate the lawsuit with Gaia.
Okay. Oh, you didn't? They sued you?
Yeah, well, and trademark court.
So you're the defendant in the Gaia?
Trademark court. They launched the first lawsuit in trademark court opposing my trademarks, which led to us spending years trying to get them to do the right thing without filing lawsuit. They refused, so we filed lawsuit.
Okay. On your website, it says your funds are being used. Like when you're raising money last week or the week before, you say, hey, I need funds for my lawsuit. I have a deposition next week. Do you remember saying that?
Yeah.
And
I didn't say that, no. I just said, take a look at my that website because things have gotten, it's gotten real. I've spent lots of money on the project or something. I didn't characterize it how you did.
On what project?
On the lawsuits, not the project.
The lawsuits, and you're referring to the trademark lawsuit with the
All of them.
RICO and this one, correct? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
And so you're saying in that on your website that the funds are being used to fight dark forces, right? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
And so you're saying my clients are the dark forces?
I'm saying Gaia and the cyberstalkers are the dark forces.
So my clients are not the dark forces?
No.
So the funds that you're gaining from these websites are only being used for that other lawsuit?
No, they're being used for both lawsuits. Just like it on the website, it lists all the lawsuits. And those are the lawsuits that people know that they are assisting.
But you said that the funds are being used to fight dark forces, but you're saying my clients are not the dark forces?
No, I told you the dark forces were the cyberstalkers. Your clients are in league with those dark forces by assisting them and coordinating with them, the cyberstalkers. So I guess by that definition, yes, I would like to change that. They would be the dark forces.
Okay, so my clients are the dark forces.
By guilt by association, yes.
Well,
They associate with the cyberstalkers and help the cyberstalkers. I guess, you know what? They can have that. Yes, you can have that.
Well,
They're the dark forces too.
I'm asking for your definition, not mine.
I just gave it to you.
Okay, so my clients are the dark forces because they associate with others who are.
And assist them in trying to take me down, yeah.
And who are the ones that my clients are assisting?
Oh, wait. Thank you. You just reminded me.
Sure.
They also did a multi-million dollar, destroyed multi-million dollar business of mine by going out and creating slander videos. So that's pretty dark. And in those videos, they lie. That's pretty dark.
What specific lies do they have in the videos?
Oh, Jesus. Let's see. What all did Leon say? What do I practice black magic? Do we have the transcript? Do you have the transcript?
It's not the time for to ask me questions. I apologize. Just remember that today is your day. All I want to know about is what you know, not what I know, what your attorney knows. So my question is, you said my clients destroyed a multi-million-dollar operation. So before those videos, you were making profits of multi-millions in the years prior, correct? Is that correct?
No.
I thought you said they destroyed a multi-million-dollar operation.
A multi-million-dollar operation.
Well, how much were the profits? Let's say.
Just hold on and listen. Okay.
No. Stay with my question. I'm asking the questions, not you.
You don't let me answer them.
Was it 2018 when this destruction happened?
I can't recall the exact date.
Approximately?
The destruction happened when they released the videos.
Okay. And in the prior year, prior to that, had you made multi-millions off of your brand?
No.
Then how could they destroy multi-million if you hadn't been making that?
They knew that David Wilcock was making $4 or $5 million off of his.
So you're saying David Wilcock in 2017-18 made $4 or $5 million?
Off one course.
Okay.
And my first course, by the time they did pull all their shit, I had made nearly $1 million off of. And that course, most of the money you make after, for months and years after, you make more and more and more residual. And on top of that, I did 2 more courses that should have made at least that much money, okay? So those were the multiple millions come from.
So in the year prior to my clients releasing the videos, you're saying that you profited, not gross, but profited 700, 800, 900,000 in that vicinity from your courses.
It was around $750,000 that I had grossed up until when he released his video. After that, all the sales dropped. All the sales stopped.
Well, did you have another video to put out to sell?
I had 2 more entire courses.
Well, then why don't you put them out and make some sales?
I did. I put them out and made the first one, and usually they started making more money, but the first one, after, it made a total of close to $1 million,
What was that
all
called?
in all, like 900 or something thousand over time.
What was it called? The one-
Ascension,
I'm sorry?
accelerating ascension.
Accelerating Ascension.
Mm-hmm.
And what entity put out Accelerating by Ascension?
Objection.
What entity?
Good Enterprise Solutions.
Good Enterprise Solutions. So you're saying Good Enterprise Solutions Inc. ran through its bank accounts in the year prior. So if we asked for the bank accounts, you've given us proof, because we've asked for all the documents, you've given us proof that you're a year prior to my client's videos coming out, that you had 750, 800,000 going through that entity, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so Accelerating by Ascension is that video, one of those courses you're talking about, correct?
Accelerating Ascension, that course was in the middle of being released when they released their slander videos.
Okay, but the one you made $750,000, $800,000 was that course or something else?
That course, the first course. All the courses after that didn't make like $60,000, $70,000.
Okay, but that course made the $750,000, and you're saying
In the beginning. And the thing is, the courses you make like up to like maybe $750,000 to $1 million when the course first comes out. And then all by word of mouth and advertising and the way we spread through the community and advertise, it makes possibly another $1 million. David's courses will lay out, he made a bunch of money up front, and then over time, those things are still bringing in a lot of money.
okay, so let me ask you this.
And those brought in no money after that.
No money after the videos.
Oh, not no money, but like 99% less.
Okay, so 1%. So you made $7,000 instead of $750,000.
I may have missed $70,000 instead of $700,000.
Okay, that'd be 10% instead of
Okay.
1. Okay. And you mentioned as far as the video, was the video entirely your IP?
What video?
Let's say let's start with Above Majestic, for example.
It was all based on my IP, yes.
Okay, but as far as ownership rights to it, you had about 25%.
Not ownership rights. No, I owned 100% of the film. It's the distribution rights. People owned points in the film.
Okay. And now you also had you communicate, or used to, through WhatsApp, correct?
Yeah.
And you've deleted all your WhatsApp messages to my client Roger Richards?
That's what we were going to talk to you guys about.
You still have them?
All of my messages from Adrian's chat group, Roger's chat group, there's like 3 of them that are all deleted. And those have imperative information for my case in them.
Okay, but doesn't your phone maintain a copy of those?
They delete all of it. There's you can delete for everyone, but
Go ahead.
it's gone. Everything is gone. And forensically, you can have people, I want to find out who deleted it, because I have a pretty good idea.
So it wasn't you?
Hell no.
Okay. And who put the information in those chats on WhatsApp? Was it you or someone else?
All of us.
Okay.
We would have big conversations in the chat, and then we would have sidebar chats in our personal chats. So a lot of our sidebar chats don't make sense now because all of that crap is gone.
Okay, and as far as have you ever criticized anyone who said that they were a part of a secret space program?
Only when they have taken my information and sold it as their own.
So you're saying you're the only one in the secret space program?
I'm saying the information in this in this franchise book is my intellectual property, and if secret space program people come out and claim that and claim my intellectual property, I say something.
Do you have my question in mind?
I don't know.
That's apparent.
I thought that was the answer.
No, the question was what?
You tell me.
Are you the only person who was in the secret space program?
No.
There were others.
Right.
So if someone else...
Your question was, did I disparage anyone?
So my question is now, if you were not the only one there, why couldn't someone else talk about their experience in the secret space program?
As long as they don't talk about the stuff that I created based on my real IP here. It says I created a lot of the stuff. I created Darkfleet. Darkfleet didn't exist before I talked about it. Now all these people are popping up. I was on Darkfleet. It's part of my
all sorts
story.
Of fleets that are darker in color throughout.
But
all sorts
they're
of
using every bit of my IP.
They use 100% of it. So
They base all of their story on my IP.
All of it.
All of it.
100%.
Yes.
Just a recopy of your work.
They recopy. That's why Gaia is being sued.
Word for word.
Pretty much.
Same color, same everything.
No, I mean
Well, you said pretty much, or is it all?
It's pretty much.
Well, that's different.
People will come in and they will say, "Oh, okay, I was in the secret space program too, and all of these things that Corey has talked about. Well, yeah, I was a part of that too. Well, guess what? The stuff that I've talked about, some of it created out of my mind in this book as a part of my IP. If they are out there making money and doing things to harm this IP, this storyline, then I say something publicly."
Okay. Do you put a footnote in your book that this is embellished and this is fictional, this is not real?
It says that there's Corey with his real story, and here's the fake or the science fiction story built on top of Corey's story. It says that in here.
Okay. At one point, you told the public you were on a high vibe diet and you were losing weight through guidance, right?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Weren't you also taking the Anavar steroid without a prescription at that time?
No.
No?
Well, I went on the high vibe diet in 2015, lost all the weight, and then was on Anavar. I was on Anavar. Anavar was after I had lost all of the weight because of my change in diet. I went to being a vegetarian. I lost weight like it was a waterfall falling off of a mountain. And then over the months, and it was like over like a year or maybe 2 years later that I even started working for Gaia. And that's when he suggested the Anavar for my extreme atrophy.
Okay. And the blue avions are the same ones being noted in the famous Law of One books, right?
No, that's what David Wilcock makes that connection.
You don't make that connection?
I humor him. I kind of started, basing information off of what David said a little bit, about the Law of One stuff. I was never a big subscriber to the Law of One.
Okay, so the Law of One books produced by L&L Research in the 80s, that's not part of your IP, right?
No, that's their IP.
Okay. You sent a cease and desist to Jason Rice, right?
I believe so.
Why?
Well, because...
I'm going to caution you not to divulge any privileged information.
Okay.
What's your understanding of why you sent a cease and desist to him?
After Gaia decided they were going to steal my intellectual property, they brought him in as the actor that repeated my testimony. Almost word for word. very, very close.
Did you ever go to space?
Did I ever go to space?
Yes.
In my physical body?
Yes.
I don't believe so, but I travel astrally, and I travel out to outer space, and
Are you willing on your Light Warrior Legal Fund to list all your donations?
sure. I will be happy to make them available if it's legal, if it's a part of the legal.
Will you list them by date,
Well, yeah, I don't see what the problem would be.
just for accountability? You did a TV show with David Wilcox, right?
Yes, cosmic disclosure.
Yep. And then afterwards with Emery Smith, right?
We did a couple, like maybe 1 or 2 episodes together, and then Emery Smith took over the show from David and I after all the fiasco.
Right. And didn't you at one point begin running out of material, and so David Wilcox was creating material, and Jay Widener said that it was just no longer credible?
No,
Was there an objection?
Yes.
no, I never ran out of material. If you look, I've produced material ever since then. The problems weren't that we were running out of material, the problems were the way we were being treated by Jay Widener,
Okay.
a hostile work environment.
And for them to continue the show without you was not okay. Why?
The show was, like I said, based on my IP, and the whole storyline is based on my IP. They decided that they were going to fire me and hire someone on to carry on my intellectual property, which made them over $300 million while I was there.
Made who 300 million?
Gaia,
So you're saying they received 300 million?
their stock, when our show started, caused their stock went up. Their market cap was like 68 million, and it went up to over 350 million or 300 and something million during the peak of our show. And then when we left, they dived, and right now they've lost about $350 million since we left.
Okay.
Very lucrative IP. That's why everyone wants it.
Okay. So why aren't you selling it now and making a lot of money? Why do you need donations?
For the legal fund,
Yeah.
I'm allowing the community to be a part of helping me pay for the legal fees, which have been hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But if it's $1 billion IP and you can make millions of dollars, why do you need nickel and dime to pay an attorney?
I mean, will you give me $1 billion for this?
Never.
Well, then what's your question again?
So why do you need donations if you're able to sell your IP for almost $1 billion?
I didn't say I could sell my IP for $1 billion.
What can you sell it for?
I don't know. I haven't tried.
Why?
But what I'm telling you is that
You haven't tried
the
to
video. I
monetize
haven't tried to
it?
sell my. Why would I sell my IP?
Why don't you try to at least license it or get royalties or somehow monetize
We
it?
are doing that right now.
Okay.
I am doing that.
But you
And
haven't done it for years?
I hadn't been able to because of all the damage that they had created. Anytime I would try to pitch something, or they had created such a stigma, no one would even talk to me.
But aren't you able to prove that the stigma is incorrect or that it's wrong
But how do I do that?
with the truth?
That's what the lawsuits are about.
Okay, so you're saying right now that there's lies out there, that they've destroyed your multi-million-dollar thing. What are the lies that my client had put out there? Let's go through that.
This feels like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard.
Oh,
all the stuff
are you
they
Amber
put out.
Heard?
I would be Johnny Depp.
Okay, I like your optimism. Tell me what the lies are.
The lies are. Well, I would have to have the transcript in front of me to go through it. But
Do you remember any of the lies? from
okay,
that?
let's see. Alcoholic. We touched on that one. Leon said that I was such a prolific abuser of women that he would like them to contact him so they could do a class action lawsuit against me. Said that I practiced black magic, which in this community is a death knell. God, that's all I can remember at the moment, but it was, full of slander and lies.
Okay, so you're saying because my client said that you were an alcoholic, did all three of my clients say you're alcoholic?
I can't recall. We'd have to have it. Leon did 3 hours or more of video, said he was coming back to do 3 or 4 more. We would have to sit down with the transcripts.
Okay. You're not an alcoholic?
No, never been treated for alcoholism. Never had an issue with alcoholism.
Never been diagnosed as an alcoholic?
Never.
Okay. And as far as the prolific abuser of women, we've already gone over that, right? No issues there?
None.
Okay. And black magic, what does that mean to you?
Well, what it means to the community, voodoo, Satanism, all of the darkest, the conspiracy community is very leery of anything black magic or dark with dark magic in it. And they made sure to pepper the community with just about everything that will come out in the depositions that Leon said.
You had Dark Fleet, but not dark magic.
That's quite the extrapolation.
Well,
talking about a Nazi group out in space, and then since he talked about that, then he must practice black magic.
But you're saying dark magic different from Dark Fleet.
Dark Fleet is a fictional space group out in space. Dark magic is something that people practice on this planet all the time, and it's associated with the most evil humans on the planet.
Okay. And so
it's associated with the most evil humans on the planet.
And so for you, in your mind, Dark Fleet, fictional, dark magic, real. Don't accuse me of being with dark magic.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Any other accusations that hurt your reputation other than those 3?
Yeah, there were a lot. There's 3-4 hours of them. Like I said,
okay.
Why don't you pop out the transcripts and let's go through them.
What about the witnesses that would say that your alcohol has at times, and you even by your own admission, you said you drank too much alcohol on a flight, for example, on your way to one of the events.
How does that make you an alcoholic?
No, by your own admission, you've drank too much alcohol before, right?
In one sitting? Yeah, like on a plane when I had just had an argument with my wife and we're talking about divorce because all of these cyber stalkers were scaring her so bad she was afraid to leave the house. I'm in the plane, my life's falling apart. I have a few drinks. If I arrive at the airport at my destination and I have a buzz, then that's not an alcoholic.
Okay.
And the only people like Roger, extreme alcoholic, extreme drug addiction, was on the streets, criminal activity that he listed to me, the people that he attacked to support his heroin addiction while he lived on the streets. He told me not everyone survived it. He told me that he had the power to, through his Antifa friends, have anyone in the country beat up or killed. When Valerie was hit and run by a person that it turned out that they were a organized crime member from Denver, it sent our family into shockwaves. We have been extremely afraid for our lives.
Okay.
But all people reflecting, on their beliefs on you does not make you an alcoholic. Rumors do not make you an alcoholic.
Right.
If you hear rumors that someone's an alcoholic, you don't get to get on camera and say, this person's an alcoholic. And
don't you believe you're somewhat of a public figure, though?
yeah.
So don't you believe that that requires you to have somewhat of a thicker skin if someone says something bad about you?
And I've gone through, since 2015, I've gone through cyber stalking. You can't talk to me about a thick skin. If you think that I just needed to have a thick skin, you have not watched that video.
Sure. But you understand that you're at a higher standard, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, and you understand that, for example, in 2017, you had a relationship, right, with someone other than your wife?
Yes.
Okay, and your wife found out about it at
I
one
told
point?
her about it right after it happened. It was a person that worked with me that we knew very well, and things became intimate between me and the woman, and then I went directly and told my wife. We ended up going to marriage counseling and all of the stuff that a normal human does when they have a normal human experience like
Sure,
that.
and fixing it. And so,
But that doesn't make you a serial abuser of women that you need a class action lawsuit against you.
Okay. Well,
I mean, do I need to have a thick skin?
but you understand that when someone works for you and you're in a position of power, that is seen as abuse of that power, right? You understand that?
Seen by who?
The law.
The law?
Yes.
So if someone have a consensual relationship that worked together,
And were you the boss?
yeah,
Or was she the boss?
I was the boss.
Then that makes you in a position of power, does it not?
Yes.
Okay. And isn't any kind of relationship when you're in a position of power not a good relationship?
No, it didn't. It was just a physical relationship that was over very quickly. I don't understand what you're...
Okay. So you don't understand at this point why it wouldn't be okay to have a relationship with someone who's on your payroll, right?
Everyone was dating everyone in this community.
Okay.
That's the way this...
So as long as everybody else is doing it, it's okay to do.
Well, I mean,
That's the Corey Goode standard?
no, I'm saying that was the standard
that's what
of the
you just said
community.
to me.
No, I didn't.
Objection.
I said in this community, this is a good one. When we were at Conscious Life Expo, when Adrienne was just starting to do work for us, we were up real late one night talking, and she puts her hand on my knee and she says, "I'm always intimate with my gurus." And then I told her, "I'm not a guru." And she said, "You would have been tripping all over yourself 20 years ago," and walked out of the room. And then the next week, she's telling my wife that I'm a chauvinist pig. You know, how are people judging me in this community by these different standards? You know, but whether or not my relationship with was inappropriate, that's one thing or another. That was between me and her. She didn't open a lawsuit against me. She didn't raise complaints against me. Her and I were very civil, and we still exchange information to this day. When she let me know when her ex-husband was stealing stuff from her computer and using it for extortion. We had a consensual relationship, and she did not accuse me of doing anything wrong. And since then, we have communicated here and there, especially since some of the lawsuit stuff's come out.
Okay.
But that's a far cry from Corey as a serial abuser of women. We need a class action lawsuit. Call me and I'll arrange it.
So you're saying you had no other relationships with any
No.
other women that worked
No.
for you?
No,
Did you have any other relationships during the pendency of your marriage?
no,
None.
none.
So you claim ownership over the documentary film Above Majestic, like we talked about. And what work on the IP was originally your idea for the film Above Majestic?
I created let's see, Roger had been randomly collecting interviews from people. And a lot of the stuff kind of matched my IP. And when
What stuff matched your IP?
Some of the people that him and one of his people he's working with, they were going out interviewing tons of people.
Who's him?
Roger.
Okay.
And he approached me and said that he would like to do the film and base it all off of my IP, and also use all of the funds that we got that were to be used for the graphic novel. He wanted to use all those funds to do the documentary. And he said the documentary will make a lot of money, we can pay back the graphic novel fund. And I said, okay, you promise you'll pay back the graphic novel fund, and you promise you'll finish the graphic novel like we promised our customers? And he said yes.
Did you get permission to redirect those funds that she'd earmarked?
Yes, we made her, we were gonna make her executive producer, but she said she didn't want her name on the film.
But she agreed in writing to change it from being a novel to a film.
I don't know if it was ever in writing, but she agreed to it. Yeah, she did it. Yeah, it's all in writing. It's in emails back and forth.
Right. And you produced all that to us.
Yeah.
That's part of your production.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. And what work did you do to market the Above Majestic?
I did interviews, talked about it in my YouTube videos, talked about it when I did events. It was basically, when we show all of the promotional stuff, it was, billed as me and David's, big movie after Cosmic Disclosure.
Okay. And Above Majestic, that was where, as far as an ownership interest in the proceeds, you had 25% interest in the proceeds, correct?
I don't know.
Approximately 25%. Yes?
Yes, I think.
And the defendants, my clients, did they do any work on the intellectual property for Above Majestic?
Do anything on the intellectual property? What do you mean?
Anything at all regarding developing or assisting with the intellectual property?
Roger did the editing. Leon talked to Hollywood people and screwed up contracts. The EUX guys did a lot of production work and post-production work on it. EUX guys did just an incredible amount of work on these films.
Yeah, I'm not asking about them, I'm asking about my clients.
I thought you asked everyone.
My clients, Roger, Leon, Miss Youngblood, for the intellectual property.
Yeah, I don't recall that how much they actually worked on the intellectual property.
Okay.
I'd have to refer back to all of these documents.
What did Leon do to screw up a contract on the Above Majestic?
It was the next film, The Cosmic Secret.
Well, you said Above Majestic he screwed up a contract, right?
It was The Cosmic Secret.
Okay, was there any work, I'm talking about Above Majestic right now.
Okay.
Was there anything Leon did on the IP there to assist?
No, Leon pretty much came in when much of that was already shaking and deals were being done. He kind of came in the middle of it. He wasn't the one that created it and caused it all to happen.
Did he assist with Above Majestic?
At the very end, he assisted. He came in on the new contact and talked to 1091, and then he took over everything after that, and then he screwed up the contract.
I'm not talking about the next one. You're talking about Cosmic Secret, right?
Yeah, the contract.
Okay, let's stick with Above Majestic for a second. Are you or any entity that you control currently collecting revenue relating to Above Majestic?
Yes.
Okay. What entity?
Good Enterprise Solutions.
Okay. What bank account?
Good Enterprise Solutions bank account. It's its own bank account.
What bank?
Wells Fargo.
Okay. And how much approximately per year or per month are you collecting for Above Majestic?
I think it's between like 8 and 12,000 a month coming in.
Okay. And is
I haven't
that
looked in a long time, so I don't know.
and is that money being distributed to the others, other than your 25%?
No, I recently bought David out of his percentage of the movies. I'm approaching and the EUX guys. I'm approaching each of these individuals. The ones that don't want to be bought out are going to be once we have the forensic accounting done, they're going to have all of their funds given to them if they choose not to sell.
Are you holding those funds in trust?
It's not in a trust, it's in a bank account.
So you haven't taken those funds, their funds are still in the bank account.
I don't know how much is still in there. We'll have to, but most of the funds that I have collected are in there. I have taken money out for the graphic novel, the money that they owed for the graphic novel.
So wait, you deducted funds out of the above Majestic distributions that were earmarked for my clients?
No.
Those funds are still there in the account?
No, the funds that, wait, repeat that.
Sure. For above Majestic, let's go back to the ownership. Percentage ownerships of the claim. Who is owed monies from the revenue of above Majestic? There's you at 25%, there's David, there's EUX. Anybody else?
I think that's it.
That's it? Okay. And so you had 25%, right?
I believe.
About. And David, recently you bought him out. How much did he have?
I think, I don't have the percentages in front of me, what all he had percentage. but
About
I bought him out
25?
of both.
What's that?
He was bought out of both.
Above
documentaries.
Majestic and Cosmic Secret.
Yeah.
And approximately how much did he have in the above Majestic?
How much did he?
25%, same as you.
25, I guess.
Okay. And EUX, did they have about another 25 as well?
No, I think they had like 10 or something. I can't remember. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember.
And nobody else, right?
Well, you mentioned the EUX guys.
Anybody else other than those four have an interest in above Majestic?
Oh, yeah. He's one of the guys that lended us some money during hard times, and Leon gave him 5% of one of the films. But the thing is, it became when both the films got combined in the contract, and then the money all started coming in one pot together, Leon said that it was pretty much impossible to figure out which distributions came, because we had different partners in both movies. And when both movies were bringing in just one stream of revenue, it became very difficult for him to start separating the money amongst all the different people because of the screw up he made. And
What was the screw up?
the screw up was that he had them indemnified together.
They were indemnified
He
together?
had the first film and the second film put together in the same deal, to where instead of getting two different accounts with their financial people to send checks for each film, it was all one check together. And in the beginning, 1091 didn't have a very good dashboard for being able to figure out all the fine details. So I believe that's when Leon started paying people, what he just felt instead of by the numbers.
Excuse me, counsel, about 8 minutes.
You're going to change now.
We're going off the record. The time is 2:51. This is the end of Media 3.